What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, D&O commentary. We have the British hero, 15 something or other, 1555, whole lot of fives, versus Ian, wait, what? Isla Homesick? What does that mean? We're just gonna call him Homesick, or Isla Homesick? I don't even know. 1416. So British hero wastes absolutely no time going into Dank Law. I mean, there's always Denko, so you know you have to plan accordingly to that card. And the good thing is, this way you do get the potentially make Mind Crush live. Like if you just go straight into, I guess if that happens, then that kind of sucks. All right, but he has Forbidden Lance, so Dank Law is not dead. So just a 1-for-1 that gets banished, by the way. All right. So yeah, if you have the Dank Law, then obviously everything's getting banished. Forbidden Lance does seem like a good 2-of in the deck. I'm not gonna lie, just because situations like this, you get Dark Law on board, your opponent has the Regeki or the Dark Hole. You have the Lance. It kind of reminds me of like Dino Rabbit, basically, where you constantly, like, you wanted to put your opponent in a position where they had to burn resources trying to kill the Lagia or the Doka using inherent removal, and then you would just lance it, keep the dude protected for a turn, and you'd still have your negates. So it looks like we have a double Dark Hole. Oh man, seriously. The Dark Holes are real. That probably was an overextension by a British hero. He thought he was safe, but hey, you know what? Dark Hole's a card, and people do play 2 of them. Now, I've never seen Nekroz open with 2 Dark Holes, so I'm thinking that this is Burning Abyss. And unfortunately, heroes don't have the best top decks and comebacks, so, you know, you top deck a Bubble Man now, it doesn't do anything because you have a full field. I guess now you probably want to draw a Hero Libs or Mass Charge. Mass Charge is always a good card. You know what? I actually think I advocate that. I know a lot of people run Call. I don't think I understand Call of the Haunted in this deck. Like, I get it. You can Call of the Haunted Shadow Mist. But, like, what is it? You already have so many ways of triggering Shadow Mist in this deck. Like, what's the point? Alright, so you see Armageddon Knight summoned. Now I don't know what it is. It could be Nekroz, Burning Abyss, or Shadow Halls. I mean, Burning Abyss don't generally run it. Okay, so it is Nekroz. He dumps the Djinn in there. So the Djinn into nothing. I love that play. That play is awesome. Let me drop the Djinn and then have a follow-up play of absolutely nada. Like, I just feel like rather than Call of the Haunted, I'd rather run like I don't know, another copy of Mass Charge, something like that. So it looks like he is going to get out another Shadow Mist, obviously triggering the effect. Unless he already has a Mass Change, then he might not trigger it. Not now, anyway. Nope, he doesn't. The question is, will he set it? Alright, so he is not taking any chances. So he's telling his opponent to wait. And he went into battle phase, I guess, so that he couldn't do anything else. Okay. What exactly do you have up your sleeve? Homesick. I mean, I could understand if the name was I Am Homesick. That's in defense mode, actually. Okay, so it's already been targeted. So Lance shouldn't stop it. It's unaffected, but it has already been targeted. Okay, so I guess it does stop it. My bad. Now I'm kind of surprised he didn't exceed though. Unless he already has another Mass Change. Forbidden Lance starting to see play everywhere. Nekroz and Heroes. It was pretty standard in Heroes, and Nekroz as well. Let's see if he has a cycle and if he has a Colossalus. Otherwise, sending that Gen just didn't really do a ton. I mean, I guess you don't have anything better to send. It has to be a Dark Monster. Alright, so he has Nekroz cycle. And he uses Sharit for the Unicorn. Okay. Activate Sharit effect. If he has a way of killing that Unicorn, he'd actually be in really good shape, because I mean, he has Colossalus in his hand. I mean, I guess if he has another Nekroz, then he can search for Colossalus, but it's like, you're not going to be summoning it anytime soon. If he had a Bottomless or a Void Trap Hole, those would come in handy right now. Ring of Destruction, same thing. Because I wouldn't want my opponent to exceed and then potentially go into Diamond Direwolf and then Gen lock me. That shit wouldn't be, that would not be Gucci. But let's see what Homesick is gonna do here. Those bluffs though. If only those bluffs weren't bluffs. So he's activating Colossalus. Of course, because he can summon Colossalus from the graveyard. Next turn, obviously, with Kaleidoscope. Or excuse me, next turn with Cycle, if he can get the Cycle, that is. Takes a Kaleidoscope. Does he have another Unicorn in his hand? It's kind of odd. He could actually Exiton the field. I think that would probably be just the better play, honestly. Yeah, I think I just would have Exiton the field. I mean, give my opponent, what, like a Bubble Man or something? So he goes in for a second Unicorn. Now he's going to activate Herald of the Arclight. Okay, so Exiton is obviously not a play anymore. I don't even think the Diamond Direwolf is a legitimate play anymore. Now he's going to activate Brio. I mean, you could Diamond Direwolf and like hit a Mirror Force, but you could also hit like an Evac or, you know, like a Ring of Destruction. Ring of Destruction would be the worst here. Well, technically now Mirror Force would be. I guess he doesn't play Mirror Force, or he just doesn't have it. So now it looks like he's going to search his deck for Bubble Man. And I was going to say, why would you not attack with Armageddon Knight? That makes no sense. I mean, what do you even go into? There's nothing to go into in your extra deck. You just have to pass turn and hope he doesn't use Dark Hole of his own or Regeki U. You've had 2 Dark Holes, so there is a potential for obviously some revenge Dark Hole to go on. Although, I don't know. I mean, I think most heroes just side deck Dark Hole. I know everybody main decks Regeki. If he exceeds here, this would be really silly. Unless he uses, okay, I was going to say, unless he used both of the Unicorns. Now Evac Device would be really good. Those face down cards must just be absolute trash. I mean, really. Okay, Trap Trick Chapeau Nightmare. I guess it wasn't trash. And unfortunately for him, he's stuck with an Armageddon Knight. Can't get those spells, buddy. You have a monster on field. I don't think that was a very good play, because you gave up both of your Unicorns for the chance to draw 1 card. Like that wasn't even worth it. I guess you could think if it would have lived, if the Daigusto Emerald would have lived for a turn, you could have drawn a second card, but like the risk was so much higher than the reward. Like your Unicorns were good, because even if he happened to make Dark Law, you still had, and 1 Unicorn died, you still had another Unicorn. Not to mention, I don't even think has he used Brio this turn? He could have just searched a Valk anyway. Like I just didn't see a point of going into it. And you made his Trap Trick Chapeau Nightmare, which was super dead. You made that card instantly live. And now you're stuck with an Armageddon Knight, which can't even kill itself, so it's not like you can do anything. Now, Pretty Sure isn't in a great position. All he has is Bubble Man. Unless he top decks that. If he top decks a Hero Live, it's all Gucci. I mean, I don't think he could have top decked anything better than that. So he has to give up 26. But if it gets some Shadow Mist, I really don't think it matters, especially since he has Brio in his hand. Him having Brio in his hand means if he tries to search, he can just summon Danklaw and just be like, nope. You thought you was searching? No, you're not. I'm taking that damn card. So, he probably is going to go for Shadow Mist and get himself a mash change. I think that they run 3. So, if he's running 3, he's already burnt 2 of them, I believe. Yeah, he used 1 turn 1, and then he had the other one hit with Forbidden Lance. Yeah, dude, he has. I'm fairly certain that that's Brio in his hand. All you have to do is just get Shadow Mist in defense mode, and then what's it called? Unless you think you can OTK him. If you can OTK him, fucking go for it. Clearly, he does not have Valk. Like, if that's a Miracle Fusion or something like that, then just go for it. Cause yeah, if that's Miracle Fusion, I'm fairly so you just make whatever hero has the most attack, that's the one you make. Alright, so he's gonna special summon Bubbleman. Oh yeah, he must be trying to go for an OTK. He must think that he must have game. Alright, so he has another Bubbleman. And looks like he's going to attack, and I'm not gonna do the math. I'm gonna assume if he's doing this play, he intends on closing the game out. And yeah, looks like that was, let's see. That would have been 800 from the attack. It would have been, he was at 37 if I'm not mistaken. It would have been 800 from the attack. It would have been another 22. So that's 3,000, and then 800 directly from Bubbleman. So he actually cleared him out with 100 life points to spare. So that Armageddon Knight just didn't do anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he shouldn't have summoned it, but it's funny. It just didn't do anything after having double Dark Hole opening. I mean, that's really, well, I can't say he opened double Dark Hole, but the point is he had 2 Dark Holes within the first 2 turns. So you had 2 legitimate ways to kill Danklaw, and you did it, and you still end up losing. So I would not feel very confident about that, especially because if you go second, you're probably going to be facing another Dark Law. So that's not something I want to do, because it's like, all right, if you're going second with Nekroz and your opponent summons Dark Law, aren't you already just giving them a card to Dark Law anyway? So it's like you're really opening with 5, unless you open with Manju Sanju. But then that doesn't do anything either, because they're still going to get a card out of your hand. So he opts to go second. I think if I'm playing heroes I think if I'm playing heroes and I win the first 2, I think I'm bringing in Dark Holes, because I don't want to get gen locked. Outside of that, I mean, you should have a really good matchup against Nekroz. Like, all it is that they're doing, what can they really put on the board? What can they really do in general that actually hurts you? It's not like the deck can arbitrarily side in 3 Fiendish Chains and 3 Mirror Force and turn into Serteller Knights. Like, it can't do that. Everything else can just be Dark Hold. Maybe, actually, the card that would scare me the most would be Royal Decree. Like, that would be the only card that I would really legitimately care about. Royal Decree would be it. All the other cards, I would not give a flying flip about. Because everything else, the Gen Lock and all that crap, I can just Dark Hole it. I can Dark Hole it, or I can Regeki it, and if I clear your board and get Dark Law, I'm probably gonna win. I mean, technically, our Thunder King Ryo can pretty much do the same job in most situations. So he's gonna take Trishula. Set 1. 2. And okay. I'm thinking maybe a Book of Eclipse. See, I mean, there's a chance that one of those is Royal Decree, but I don't know. We'll see. So it looks like we have Summoner Monk. Discards Rhoda, obviously to get Shadow Mist. The question will be, once again, does he pull the trigger now, or does he go for the pluses? Going for the pluses is greedy, but if it works out, it's so much better. Like, it's infinitely better. But then you leave yourself susceptible to, obviously, well, not just this getting attacked, but then you leave yourself open to the potential of what's it called? A mystical space typhoon. I think I would just mass change it now, because if he has Forbidden Lance, then you can just exceed anything better. Like, you can exceed into, I don't know if they run a Luminescent Knight, but a Luminescent Knight would be great here. So, like, yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't want my shit getting MST. That's all I'm saying. So, does he have the Lance? Like, if he has the Lance and you just go into a Luminescent Knight and just attack. Let's see if once again he has that Forbidden Lance. Okay, so he does have that Forbidden Lance. So now he's going to exceed. Dark Rebellion Dragon. Oh, he does play a Luminescent Knight. Awesome. See, yeah, that's the play there. If he lances you, then you just make a Luminescent Knight. And you still keep your materials, so you're still getting technically that plus. I mean, I would run a Luminescent Knight in Heroes just because of, like, Unicorn, because it's just a good card to get over Unicorn, and then you kind of can't, like, he can't be MST, like, maybe if he has MST as his only card, but if, like, he has a Vanities, and he activates, like, a spell, he Vanities, then if this is MST, he can just make MST target the spell, so, like, he'll basically lose. But either way, like, he can't beat Trishula right now, so he ain't got really nothing to worry about. He has absolutely nothing. All he had to do is just clear his hand out. So, I mean, I think that British Hero is in a great position right now. Card advantage is technically even when he adds that ritual spell, but keep in mind again, ritual spells they don't really count as advantage unless it's like Kaleido Mirror Unicorn, because they don't pay for themselves. So he searches Nekroz Mirror, but then has no follow-up play. And I think British Hero is going to constantly empty out his hand. I don't think he's going to let Homesick catch him with a card in hand. I don't think that he wants to even let him think that he can Trishula him. And right now, it doesn't look like he can do much of anything. I don't think his graveyard has what? Herald of the Arclight, Forbidden Lance, Nekroz Unicorn, and one card that I've totally forgot about. So it looks like he wrote his for Neos Alias. And again, hero players, they'll set their whole hand. They don't give a fuck. So he's going to summon that Neos Alias and attack. This card has to be either a hand trap or a card he's going to set. Otherwise, he would have just summoned it. There's no way he's going to leave a card in his hand. Unless I promise you, it has to be like an Effect Veiler or a Maxi or something like that. I just don't believe he would have left a card in his hand so that he can get Trishula'd. Because if it was any monster like a Goblinberg, I'm pretty sure he just would have summoned it. If it was a Summoner Monk, he just would have set it or something like that. And I think he might run Crush Card Virus as well, so. You can't use Crush Card if you summon the Monk, but if you just set her ass, you can totally Crush Card somebody. And if you Crush Card somebody after they activate a spell, especially when you know they want to summon Trish, like, it is so dirty. Oh, unless, okay, I didn't even think about that. Unless he has Mind Crush sets. That is obviously the other option. Oh, no. I'm sorry. He's baiting him. He must be trying to bait him into he must have Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare set. Oh my god, Homesick, dude, I think you are walking straight into a trap. Don't activate the effect. I'm telling you, it's better if you just don't he's active. I told you! Oh, I had to think about it. It was so obvious. And now if you Lance, your monster still won't get its effect. Actually, and if you Lance, it'll only be 1900 attack. So it won't even be able to, like, effectively do anything. I mean, I guess you could clash with a Neos Alias, but what would that really do? I knew it. I was like, hold on. British Hero isn't dumb. He's not just gonna leave a card in his hand for no reason. And as soon as I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. If he doesn't have Mind Crush, then it has to be Trap Tricks Chapel Nightmare. Oh my god, don't MST, fool! He's just gonna make you keep MSTing your own cards. Now he's gonna make you MST your own mirror. Don't MST. And all he has to do is say, I'm gonna activate Mist Effect, by the way, too. Dude, you should never ever MST when someone has a Luminescent Knight on the field. Not to mention, even if he didn't have the mirror, all he would have to do is make him MST the Trap Trick Chapel Nightmare. You never ever MST someone if they have a Luminescent Knight on the field. You just don't do it. unless you have no cards in your back row. Because again, even for some reason, if he didn't have this mirror on board, all he would have to do is constantly make him MST the Trap Trick Chaperone Nightmare, and MST does not negate. Oh boy. So let's see. He's going to activate Shadow Mist's effect. Even with the Gungnir, it doesn't get its effect. And now the fact that he can't kill anything in battle, that pretty much, no, fool, no, you lanced it, Dude, wait, whoa, it was lanced. Wasn't it lanced? Oh, excuse me, it wasn't lanced, it was Gungnir'd. I'm lunching. Okay, yeah. It wasn't lanced, it was Gungnir'd. I think it was. Yeah. He had double MST. It wasn't Lance. It was Gungnir'd. So I'm pretty sure that British Hero had another. Oh wow, he had the nuts there. He had the Lance, the Hero Lives, and the Bubble Man. So next turn, I'm pretty sure he was going to be able to get himself another Shadow Mist or another Bubble Man, probably another Shadow Mist, just so that he can go plus. He was going to be able to obviously exceed over Trishula into, I don't know, Excalibur or Castel. Probably 101 was the best card in that situation. And then he still had a Lance to back him up. He may have even just went for Darklaw and attacked over it with the Lance. I mean, he had a whole bunch of different options. So that duel was pretty lopsided. Thank you guys for watching as always.